Welcome back everyone to my Animal Crossing New Horizon gameplay. Today is day 2. Last episode we went ahead and started a very new island, got our 2 new starter villages and actually pitched our tent. Today it seems like AK Slider is right here explaining us on what we have to do. It's the very first time we do get to see him in a game. And the next time we probably will see him is once we have a 5-star island. Definitely we have a long way to go, so it's pretty cool to see him right here. Now I did mention about how slow the dialogues can be in this game, so I have kind of sped up this video a bit to move faster in a dialogue tree. But of course I wish we had a option to kind of speed it up. Now if there is an option that can actually speed up the dialogue tree, and if you guys know about it, let me know in the comment section. I'll go ahead and equip it. Otherwise, I think usually when I am having a conversation, I'll probably go ahead and just speed up the video a bit so it doesn't take too long. Here we are back in our tent and it seems like Tom Nook is actually calling us. Alright, I guess this is the time when we get our Nook phone, of course. I think this is the one of the only times that we get to kind of see our character getting up from the bed. I've never seen this happen before. Probably it will happen when you get a house, but as far as I remember, each time you start a game, your character is just walking out of the house, so you never get to see this. Right here, as you can see in my inventory, I do have a couple of items. All the oranges that I did pick up from the island, and a couple of shells and branches. If you're wondering why I'm having those items, even I do not know. I just went ahead and picked up everything yesterday and that's what I'm having. When we step out of the tent, we have Tom Nook waiting for us. So I think he has to talk about the rent and the other stuff right here. Basic stuff. All we have to do is go ahead and initially get 5,000 Nook miles and pay that up for the tent. Once we do that, I think we'll finally be able to move into a house. And of course, we do get our Nook phone over here as well, which is very helpful. I do have a couple of tricks to kind of get a lot of Nook miles in the beginning of the game and try to complete 5,000 Nook miles as fast as possible. So definitely I think this one will help you guys in case if you're struggling to get Nook miles at the beginning of an island. The one thing I did notice in this game is that each time I reset my island, there is quite a few dialogues that are being added to this conversation at the beginning of the game, which I did not see in the last iteration. Now this might be because I never restarted the island after the last update for this game. But the last time I resetted my island, I remember that this app was not actually available during that time, so we didn't have this extra dialogue right here. I think that's pretty cool to see some of them that I have never seen before. I really wonder what other dialogues that might have been updated after the last one, since it has definitely been at least a year or two since I have last reset my island. Right here, it seems like he is finally introducing us to the Nook miles. Now, I feel like even though we are just giving him 5,000 Nook miles for the first house, that is kind of changing from our tent to the house. After that, you just need to have a lot of bells to kind of get more additions to your house. That is one thing I have seen many people struggle in, and I have quite a few pointers for you guys which will definitely help you get more bells as well. Right now, let's check out our phone. Here are all the basic apps that you get at the beginning of the game. The first thing I'll do is make my way to the passport app right here, because this is very helpful. It will give you a couple of Nook miles for doing this. Go ahead, change your passport photo right here. In my case, let me just go ahead and take a photo. Alright, I accidentally clicked back, so I had to take another photo right here. Alright, I think this is good for now. And once you have taken a photo, select it to kind of change it. Next thing, click on edit again and change the comment. Once you have updated your comment, go ahead and update the title as well. Let me do that in this case. There we go, I have kept it as Arrived Island Resident. Now I really wish I knew all of this before I played this game for the first time, because I remember just struggling the first time when I created my island. But here we are. This is my island map and my house. I think my main goal today would be getting as much as Nook miles as possible in this day. That is in the second day, of course. Opening up the Nook Miles app, as you can see, we already have a couple of goals already completed. So let me claim them. Here we have 500 Nook Miles, which is pretty cool. After all, we just need 5,000 to go ahead and complete the first quest. Second one is edit credit. This is for the updation of your passport. I think you'll get it if you do at least one of those three, but I have never tried just checking that out. I usually just go ahead and update all three. The next thing I did is take a photo. This one is quite helpful. As you can see, once more we have completed another goal. Not really sure if I should call these a task or a goal. Probably I'll just alternate between these two words, but just so you know, that's what I mean when I say either a task or a goal. Up next is checking my mailbox. It seems like we do have a present from Nintendo for starting a new island. Let's quickly check out what it might be. The last time I reset my island, which was a year and a half ago, I actually got a YOLO cake as a gift from Nintendo. But this time we got a DIY workbench, which is kind of like a downgrade because we do get this DIY later. But I guess it's still fine. We'll keep it. The next goal for me to just talk to all of my villagers. If you talk to your villagers every single day, you do get Nook Miles for that as well, because there is another task. So I just want to make sure that I go ahead and talk to both of them. In this case, I was able to find Mac right here, but I'm not able to find Flo. Let me look around. We also have, I think, Tommy. Yep, Tommy right here with a flag walking around. Now this is gonna be a thing every single day until we go ahead and get a chance to build a shop. So until then, he will definitely be looking around and he will have various dialogue at different times of the day, so you can check that out as well. Alright, Flo is right there fishing in the morning, which is pretty cool. This actually reminds me, let me know in the comment section which kind of villages do you really like. Is it a cat villager, a bear villager, a penguin villager, a dog one? I know there are a lot of them, but let me know which one you really like. In my case, I should say I like cat villagers a lot. But there are a couple other villagers that I really like as well. But I'm hoping at least I'll get one cat villager in this island by the time I have 10 residents. Next task is to put a post right here in the bulletin board, because this will complete another of the Nook Miles task. Let me quickly go ahead and create a post. I think this is good enough. I mean, we only have one Nook Mile task for this post, and this is the only time I can actually complete it. There we go. We have completed the task. Let me claim it as well. Alright. Now, even though I had different islands before, I have never completed my Nook Miles program. That is not the Nook Miles plus one, but this program where you have all the list of things to do. So there might be a couple of things that I might not know. So let me know in the comment section if I do miss one in a later stage. Up next is to create a design. In this case, let me try to create something. And here we have it. I just tried my best to create a lighthouse. I think it looks more like a windmill, but I was going for a lighthouse, so I'm just gonna name it that. Now, this definitely took me around an hour to complete. It was not that easy. I've never used this tool in this game. I honestly just like to browse the designs that are already available, that probably some other people have already completed, and I just usually use that. But in this case, just for the sake of the Nook Miles task, I just went ahead and did something. Now you don't have to complete the photo, of course. You can just have a red dot in one square of it and then just create as completed, and you'll be able to still get it. but I just wanted to, do something using that tool. Up next is to go to the main tent. This is where both Tom Nook and Timmy will be. Timmy right here will have some items for you to kind of buy, but they are just basic items. He'll also have 2 furniture items. So if you are able to buy these items, go ahead and buy them. On the other hand, Tom Nook right there is talking about a DIY workshop, which I definitely have to complete. It's a part of moving on in the game, and it will definitely help you create some basic tools that you might require going forward. In my case, I do have a toolbox and a picnic box, which are 2 items that I really need. So probably at some point, once I do have some bells, I'll come back and buy these items. For now, I think the only thing I can actually do is go ahead, talk back to Tom Nook and complete the DIY workshop. In this case, all we have to do is talk to him and click on the option about that workshop, where in this point he will ask us if we are interested right then and there to complete it. Of course, we have another couple of dialogues where he tells us what kind of materials he needs. He is asking us for 5 tree branches right here, which I already have. So I can definitely go ahead and complete this right here. By the way, once again, the reason I have these items is because I picked them up in the last episode, that is the day 1. So if you have already picked up the extra tree branches that you might have found around, I think that is quite helpful. Or else, just before you come into the main tent, go ahead and get the items. Once I have crafted the fishing rod, he's actually going to go ahead and give me a new app. This is one of the main apps that I think I'll be using quite a lot at the beginning of the game. And it's actually the DIY recipe apps. This is where you'll be going in the future to craft your other items. Hopefully I'll have some really good items at the beginning of the game to help in getting more stars for this island. The one main thing I would definitely recommend if you are starting a new island is to hoard items. Buy everything that you see. Every single day come to Timmy right here and buy the items that you'll find. When I say items, I'm talking about the furnitures. This will definitely help you in the later stage of the game when you need to kind of have items indoor and outdoor of the island to raise the ratings of the island itself. I find it quite helpful if I have more items, and that will definitely help it a lot. Other than that, I decided to go ahead and sell out all of my fruits that I had in the island and get some bells. At this point, I also went ahead and checked out the Nook Stop, which is a Nook shopping kind of system where you'll be able to check out and get some more items once again. If you talk to Nook Stop every single day consecutively, the bonus that you get right here will multiply. This would be another thing that I would recommend you guys go ahead and do every single day. In this case, I'm just checking out and I see this blossom lantern, which I really like. It's actually 2,400 and I don't really have the amount of bells right now. But I definitely need that item, so I'll go ahead and order it once I do have the bells. The one other thing you do have to keep in mind is if you do order anything in Nook Stop, it will arrive the next day and not today. So you do have to wait for a day to get the item. But going back to my phone, I was able to get a couple more Nook Miles in as well, as I have completed a couple of tasks for creating a DIY and selling some items off as well. Parallelly with the goal of completing 5,000 Nook Miles, I also want to go ahead and get bladders into the island as soon as possible. You can definitely do this very quickly as long as you get variety of either fishes, insects or bugs that you can actually find around the island. So definitely I think it's much easier to kind of fish in the pond because you have a couple of them over there. If you manage to bring I think around 5 of these fishes or bugs, I believe Tom Nook will have a dialogue with Blathers and he'll actually come to the island. So if you want to have a museum and e-shop as soon as possible, this is definitely the way to go. At this point, since I did take the DIY workshop, I was finally able to learn the DIY for workbench. I think that is definitely one of the items that I do need to kind of create. Probably at some point once I have enough items to kind of do it. I think until then the only thing I can do is just fish and just clear up the island. Of course, this is one way of getting more bells, which you can definitely do. But I would definitely recommend not picking up all of these plants right here, just because they are quite helpful to be sold to another one of the animals rather than giving it to Timmy or Tommy. Going around the beach, you can also pick up the shells and other items that you'll probably find. This is quite helpful. Some of the shells are quite costly. They will sell around 4,500 bells, which is pretty good at the beginning of the game. So I would recommend running around the beach to pick up some shells. After cleaning up the island, and I think I fished a bit as well, I feel like I can go back and talk to Tom Nook once more to start another new dialogue. Now it did show right there that I did have some tasks completed, but I did check it, nothing was done. Not really sure what happened right there. But going into my recipe app, here are all the recipes that I really have right now. Some of them are craftable. Most of them, such as net and fishing rod, which is pretty easy to kind of craft considering that you have a lot of trees and a lot of sticks that you'll actually get. Entering back into the main tent, let me quickly talk to both of them. Now, one thing I actually didn't do right here, but now that I am recording this video, I kind of feel like I should have done this before. That is to go ahead and create a net and try to find some bees. Bees can actually sell for 2,500 bell, which is pretty good, especially in the beginning of the game. So if you have around 2 of them, you can give one to Tom Nook right here as a part of giving up the creatures to him for creating the museum, and the other one you could probably sell to Timmy. The first thing I did right here is give up all the creatures I just got to Tom Nook, just to make sure that he will actually go ahead and call Blathers as fast as possible. As a gift, he'll give you a couple of things. Right here, he did give me a DIY for axe, which is pretty nice. The one thing you might see at the beginning of this game is that it has a lot of dialogue conversations. And as we go forward in the game, we probably won't have this much of the dialogues. But for now, at least for the first few episodes, you might see a lot of conversation happening between me, Tom Nook, and the other villagers that are there here. There we go, we got some flower seeds for the second time. I'll go ahead and check out the new DIYs that he has provided. So it seems like he has given us some other ones as well, which are quite helpful. I think we'll be able to, or we actually need those DIYs later when we are trying to get more villagers to come in. But of course, we are doing pretty well on the Nook miles. As you can see, we have 2,800 of them. Talking back to Timmy right here, I'm just gonna buy some items. I'm not really sure if I can sell the items that I currently have, but there are a few of them that I might need. For example, the DIY for beginners, that is definitely quite helpful for me right now. I also need the slingshot recipe just because I've seen like 2 balloons that have flown through and I wasn't able to get the items because I didn't have a slingshot. For now, at least I'll keep the recipe with me, and once I'm able to kind of create the axe and try to get some woods, I'll be able to then create the slingshot. Other than that, I bought the DIY for beginners. Now you can definitely buy these items on a later stage, and you probably can still buy the net or the other stuff. In my case, I just decided to go with these. I don't think I can buy anything else. So for now, I am just going to be broke for a while. Now that we have bought a couple different items from Timmy right here, I wonder if we have completed even more tasks. And it seems like the case, so let me quickly go ahead and get this. Pretty good. Getting 3,000 Nook miles in a day is pretty good. Let's see if we can get 5,000 Nook miles by the end of today. After creating a couple of items, I just went ahead and learned the slingshot DIY as well. At this point, I think I was able to complete some of the other tasks. Once again, creating and using your phone for a couple of times apparently gives you Nook Miles as well. That's pretty good. Um, I think if you do create a lot of DIY, you do have another task that gets completed. So you could try that as well. Now that we are out, I'll go ahead and try to fish some more and try to catch some bugs just to see if I'll be able to get Tom Nook to call Blathers. While walking around, I actually got stung by a bee. Flo right here is quite concerned with me. Even though she didn't really have medicine on her, she actually gives us the recipe for creating one, which is pretty helpful. This is a way to kind of get the medicine recipe, or in case if you have talked to your villagers quite much and they are kind of your friends, they'll actually give you a medicine as well. In this case, I think I'll be able to craft the medicine, but for now I'll go around checking the trees, getting all of the daily items. Now, when the daily item goes, there are a couple of things that you can do every day. One is going ahead and checking out the Nook stop inside the main tent. The other thing is to go ahead and shake all the trees in your island. You have a chance of getting around 4 bees and 2 furniture items and couple of trees with bells, so quite helpful. The other daily thing that you could do is running around and going to the shop, visiting the museum. In the future, you probably will be able to find fossils, so you can go ahead and get them assessed and donated. You can also go ahead and go to Able Sisters to get some dresses. But I think those things you'll be able to do once you are a bit further in the game. In this case, all the things that I'll be able to do is just run around, pick up some of these unwanted plants, go ahead, catch the butterflies or any other bugs that I find, shake up all the trees and get the items. I think the first few days in the beginning of this island will be pretty slow. You only have a limited amount of items that you can actually complete before you kind of have to end the day and wait for the next one. But of course, as we move forward with the game, we get more tasks. And once the island evaluation starts, I think that's when you'll be at the peak where you have a lot of stuff to do in the island. For now, I think we'll have some slower days. Now, even though I have been playing this game for over an hour now for this episode, it literally does not feel like it's an hour. The episode might not be that long, but I have been just running around this island, just catching and trying to sell some items. So definitely it is pretty calming. As you can see here, my inventory actually got full. At some point, I do have to get more space, but for now, I think we are pretty good. But going back to the game itself, I feel like the main reason why I really love this game is because how calming it is to actually play it. I think especially once you get the ability to kind of terraform, it is super amazing. You can definitely do a lot of different projects and have your own space for each of the items in the island. You know, now that I think about it, I think I should just visit the main tent once and just sell off all of these items. After all, there is no use of having so many in my pocket. Back in the main tent, the first thing I did once again was go ahead and actually talk to Tom Nook. I think we're almost there. Maybe I just have to donate 2 more of these creatures. Let me go ahead and give a wasp. I guess I was calling it a bee till now, which was totally wrong. I'm sorry, it is actually a wasp. After giving it, I think we'll be able to go ahead and talk to him once more. Right here, he's actually going to give us the DIY for watering can, which will help us if we are trying to grow some flowers. Talking to him once again, giving him the next fish, hoping to get a call from Blathers right here. In total, I think I gave him around 6 of the creatures, 6 or 5, I think that's the count. So once we have given him that, he will actually receive a call from Blathers, who will actually tell him that he will come to our island to check out all of the creatures. So tomorrow we will have blathers in the island. Before that, of course, we do have to find a spot for our museum, which is definitely quite important. But before we go there, let me talk to Timmy, sell off some of the items that I have on me, and then go around. I think I can go ahead and sell out all of these unwanted items in my pocket, definitely the shells as well. Regarding the fruits in your island, I would actually recommend keep at least 10 of them with you in the storage. This would either be needed for any of the DIY that you might have to create, or in the later stage when you might cut down all of your trees. So definitely I would recommend at least having 10 of your island fruits in the storage. Other than that, it seems like I finally have enough to buy these two items, so let me quickly buy them. One is a picnic basket, which I think is very helpful. I have a couple of ideas around it. Probably I can have a outdoor picnic area in the island, which would look pretty cool. The toolbox would look pretty amazing in my room, so I went ahead and bought that as well. The other things that I could buy are none of these, so for now I think I'll just let it be. Other than that, we do have the cherry blossom that is actually in the Nook shop. Probably I'll be able to buy that with the remaining of the bells. Before anything, I went ahead and checked out crafting an axe. Since I did get a chance to kind of pick up 3 stones, I'm actually able to create an axe. Axe is very helpful in the beginning of the game, and it's probably one of those items I will be creating a lot. Wood in this game is very important. It's used mostly in all of the items that we're going to craft. So definitely creating an axe would be very helpful. After all, clumsy axes do break after a certain point. Now that I have bought everything I need, I can actually leave this place. It seems like we have, of course, completed a couple more Nook Mile goals. So I definitely do have to check it out. Now, I'm not sure if you guys do this, but I always like arranging my pocket. The items that I need should be at one point of it, otherwise it just is so difficult. Checking out the Nook Miles app, we have completed quite a few of these tasks, so let me quickly go ahead and accept all of them. Alright, that is 4,000 Nook Miles. A few more left. And I think that's all. Nope, still not. Okay, we are at 4,600, quite close to 5,000. This is the last one, and we are at 4,900. 50 more to actually get our tent into a house. Let me quickly go ahead and figure this out. I definitely do want to have a house tomorrow if I can help it. Well, the first thing I did is go ahead and plant all of these flower seeds that I got from Tom Nook. It's a really good way to complete a task. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get another one of the tasks completed for Nook Miles. But I'm not really sure how many flowers you actually have to plant to get it. For now, I only have 5 and I just thought I'll go ahead and keep it right there. As for the place for my museum, I think this area right here would look pretty amazing. It's also right next to the sea, so if I do get a chance to kind of swim out, it's a pretty good area for me to go directly into the museum. It's also not far from my house, so it's an easier way for me to just come here before I go back to my house as well. This actually looks pretty cool, so I'll go ahead and say okay. Now, I know that we still have to get our shop, which is the Nook's Cranny in this case. And I plan to kind of keep it right next to my house, which will be once again quite closer to the museum. After all, I am not too worried about the initial design of the island. Once we do get the chance to kind of terraform, I think that's when I will be able to do more than just, keeping some items on the island. But of course, for today, I think this has been pretty good. We have almost completed the Nook Miles task. And of course, already have our museum set up on day 2. Tomorrow we'll have the museum opened and I'll be able to donate more items. I feel that creating a museum will actually speed up the progress in your game, because you do get the vaulting pole from ladders, which will let you kind of cross the rivers and explore the other areas. Now that I have placed the museum kit, I'll be able to go ahead and talk back to Tom Nook and let him know that it's actually ready. Here we are, and I think we are having a pretty good place for the museum. I really don't have a plan on what the island might look like, but as we go, I think I'll be able to have a design. Now I do have 2 designs in mind. One is to achieve the 3-star island that we need, and the other one is to achieve the 5-star island that we need. So probably for now I'll go ahead and try to keep the island for the 3-star one, and then probably change up everything and make my final design for the 5-star island. Right here I'm crafting a campfire, and the main reason I'm doing this is to place a couple of items on the outer world, that is on the island itself. We do have a couple of Nook Mile tasks that will get completed by doing so, but I'm not really sure with the items that I have right now if it will be completed, but we can definitely give it a try. And you know what, I think this is a really good place where I can actually put it. There are the 3 items that I really need. One is the campfire, the other one is a plant, and the next one is a toaster. I'm not really sure if the toaster is actually going to help us here, but I do have the picnic basket which I can actually keep. Other than that, I think I have another cardboard box which is helpful, but let me just move this a bit more to the side. This will make it a small spot for having a campfire. I think that will look pretty cute. I don't really have too many items, but I'll be able to just try and have this right here. Alright, the last one is another plant which I think should be around here. Ooh, the toolbox, though I'm not really sure. I think I'll be able to place the toolbox in my tent. But this plant I think is quite helpful. Let me place it right here. I feel that when it comes to designing an island, you can definitely have very few items but be still able to do something with it. I think that small picnic spot right there looks pretty cute. Now that I have completed most of the tasks, even though I'm not still able to get 5,000 miles on the day 2, I'm pretty sure if you do create a bit more items, you might be able to, but I'm actually running out of time here, so I'm just gonna postpone it to tomorrow. For now, let me quickly place all of these other items that are still remaining in the tent and end out this episode. The first one is a toaster that I got as a present, and the next one is actually a toolbox which I was able to find in the shop. I think the toolbox looks pretty cool. Probably if I do have a wardrobe later, I will go ahead and keep the toolbox on top of it, which might look pretty nice. But of course, that is all for today's episode. Thank you all for watching this video. Now, if you liked it, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to support me more in a personal way, check out the links in my description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.